But I got to listen to Dave Brubeck twice.
I just saved a bundle on my car insurance, so.
I got the better deal on that one.
I didn't
Insurance can be expensive.
Yeah, the increase in car insurance cost is just incredible when I'm a very safe driver.
So you say, no, I'm just kidding. I'm sure you are.
So everyone says.
Yeah, exactly. Man.
So maybe we should just get started since it's
Yeah, I think that
been
would be,
10 minutes.
I think that's generally the thing to do. Let's do it.
Okay.
Motivated.
No, keep your mouth shut. You specialize.
Okay.
Okay, so here is the quiz for class 2. Now,
Hey, wait,
I-
I got a question for you, Upala.
yes,
What is this and what is this?
they look like things you don't want to eat on the right and something you do want to eat on the left.
This
So
is,
much so that it's no
milk.
longer recognizable.
this is the milk, this is the water, and I'm the goose.
Mm.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is going to be tough. So pull out your notes,
Right.
put on your thinking caps.
Okay.
Don't see your cream.
Somebody's having trouble seeing your.
So
Huh.
if they can't see my screen, I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Is there anyone else who cannot see my screen?
I think we can see your screen.
Is there anyone who can give technical assistance to the person who cannot see their screen? My screen.
Okay, now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. So as a review, please describe what a gotcha is, and especially vis-a-vis emptiness.
Ooh, vis-a-vis.
Mhm. I think the waiter's going to say, "I'm sorry, we only take MasterCard."
I mean, in what school?
No,
vis-a-vis.
I'm going more broad than that,
The thing
Okay.
emptiness
more
is empty.
generally
Yes.
than that.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're not at school level.
right.
What's-
The thing, that what Nick said. Nick said it perfect.
Oh, I didn't hear him.
No. The thing emptiness is empty of, or what's being denied when we talk about
The
emptiness.
thing that is denied. And then when we talk about emptiness, in a general sense that all Buddhist schools agree, what is the gotcha?
The thing that has the nature that we're denying exists.
So it would be the impossible way of existing.
Yeah.
That is self-existence, or existing by nature, or existing by definition.
I
Yeah,
think that's very reasonable.
Whatever your definition happens to be, right?
right.
Mm.
If all Buddhist schools agree in the lack of self-existence,
Yeah.
of what exactly and precisely how, we're not talking about that.
Boy, what self-existence means is, I guess, what's debated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's cool.
They may or may not agree that things exist by definition.
Right, right. Okay, so each of my questions has 3 parts. Is
Yeah,
the
that's 9
gotcha
questions.
of any importance to us? Why or why not?
It is important to us to understand what it is, because we need to identify it in order to deny it.
Great,
And that's what your book said.
great. Anyone else?
It's the thing that we are trying to get liberated from. So therefore, it's really important if we want to get liberated.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? No, those are good things. I'm not saying they're not good things. See, there are multiple reasons why, but first, as Nick said, we have to know first what its presence is, or would be if it could exist, before we can say it's not there. It's not enough for us to say, oh, the gotcha is the lack of the absence of self-existence. That will not be helpful in the least.
Wait, what?
It would not be helpful to say the lack of the absence of self-existence, that's what the gotcha is.
No, that'd be wrong.
Yeah.
If it were the lack of the absence of self-existence, then there would be self-existence.
Exactly, that's what the gotcha is. Self-existent thing.
Right. So there shouldn't be a lack of a gotcha, or we've got a real problem. Lack of a
No,
lack
the
of a
lack of
gotcha.
the absence. I'm
No,
on
yeah.
purpose using double negatives.
Okay. So why isn't it helpful?
Because you're going to go meditate on the lack of a lack.
I think I've tried.
Yeah, okay.
It wasn't very fruitful.
And also what Word said that I didn't have, but then I think another important reason that I thought of was that each Buddhist philosophical school it defines the absence of self-existence in different ways. Therefore, each school has a different gotcha. And our clear understanding of each school's position is extremely beneficial to our personal practice, as we actually have these different kinds of misunderstandings about things during our day-to-day life, and then also to our correct understanding of the highest school's position.
If we say that we give up the gotcha, the idea of the importance of the gotcha, do we give up the two truths, the system of the two truths?
If you give up the importance of the gotcha, you probably give up any hope of reaching enlightenment. Does that help?
What I want to know is it part of the two truths?
No, it's got to be neither, because the two truths exist and gotchas don't.
Okay.
Can anyone give me the correct spelling of gotcha in Tibetan?
Tagataga.
Tao.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, one at a time, please.
Tao ka ga gat payata ja gotcha.
Okay, I'm not sure if that's how it was.
Yeah, DGA.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, second question, 3 parts. K.J. says that the mistake in our mental perception of something and how we take it to be is relatively straightforward to describe. And, if we do that, we understand the lack of a self-nature to things. What does he say about the relative ease with which we can describe the mistake of our sense power perceptions?
Much harder.
Right. It's very difficult to get a good picture in our minds of the mistake of the sense perceptions, because even when the eye sees colors and shapes, that perception is mistaken, but what exactly is the impossible thing that the eye perceives? We don't see how what we see is mistaken. Where we can sort of figure out where we're making a mistake in our mental thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Please give the phrase for the difficulty of getting in Tibetan, of the difficulty of getting a good picture of the object.
Kakja lojul ducharkawa. Duncharkawa.
Right. You'll do charkawa. Think, good job. Question 3. K.J. then helps us to understand what the gotcha is that the sense powers perceive by giving a quote from Master Asanga. What does that quote say?
Before the name, there's no perception. Is that it?
Close.
Hmm.
I don't think it's perception.
Is it perceiver or something?
Before it is given the name, there is no idea of it.
Yeah. Nice.
What
Nice.
is the
Cool.
Tibetan translation of before it is given the name, there is no idea of it? Starts with Ming.
Ming de Tatsang.
Mingi ngaro lomechir.
Yes. Mingi Ngawo Lo.
Oh,
What's happening? How much?
nice,
I
dude.
got?
Oscar, nice.
Hey, Oscar.
Yeah.
And then lastly, what does Chunni Lama say about Master of Sanga's verse in his commentary to the Diamond Cutter Sutra that helps us? Do you remember? Okay, so he explained the verse by saying that whatever thing we might consider, whatever it is, we don't think of the thing as the name we call it before we give it a name.
Of course.
And this is true because even if there's only one thing we're talking about, that one thing could have a number of different names. For example, the word for the name in different languages. And then B, we often refer to many different things with the same name. For example, all the individuals on the planet with the family name Chen, for which I understand there's like 2 million or something like that.
Dr. Chen.
More than that.
Thank you.
Cool.
Right.
So now we will go to my attempt at translation.
Whoa. Chito.
So I did one more than you asked for because I did one last previously, but also because I thought it would be you had just asked me to do these latter two. And I
Yeah.
thought we should set the stage with the one before it because it's how it starts.
Okay. Chito me watching the tope. Top at something. No, it's how does an appearance merely labeled by thought thinking no appear to a non-conceptual sense power? Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, good. I have one small suggestion. The hard part, I think, is perfect. Oh, that's one of those. I think. I just say enchanted. Can it refer to the horse or to the person who's under the enchantment? When you say enchant, is the person enchanted or
The person.
Oh.
Yes, the person is enchanted,
Person is
and maybe
the
the
one.
maybe the stick.
or you could say enchantment horse? I don't know. Magically induced. Okay, good. Why? Because the magically induced horse is more than by conceptual thought. Yeah. Okay. Good. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Do you misperceive when you look at when you look at a coffee cup? Do you misunderstand its relationship to its name? You see, do you take it to be a coffee cup naturally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are misunderstanding the nature of the coffee cup. Can I say? Okay.
Yeah.
And there's an impression that you were given that is wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Now, he says something interesting. And don't forget, as Utpala said in her homework, we're discussing the very difficult question of how exactly does the thing appear to you the wrong way? Because, okay, here's the punchline. If you think the cup should have been called cup, then it means the cup is suggesting to you that it should have been called cup.
Mm.
But if the fact that it should have been called cup is wrong, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
How can you be misled by something that doesn't even exist? How can there be some appearance coming from the coffee cup which suggests to you that the coffee cup should have been called coffee cup naturally, okay? If it's not there, how can you be misled by a mirage which is not there? You see what I mean? If the impression coming from the cup that it should have been called cup naturally is misleading you, which is what you guys said, then is that appearance, if that appearance is wrong, then that doesn't even exist. Then the coffee cup is not Kunzobdemba. It's not misleading reality because it's not sending you any messages because those messages don't exist. So how can a message that doesn't exist affect your mind? Okay, he's like that. And then we say, if it's impossible for something to send you a wrong message, then the whole discussion of the magic show and the horse should never have taken place because no horse would have been appearing to anybody. Got it? If the horse doesn't really exist, but it's appearing to everybody as a horse, according to you, nobody in the audience should have run away. Why? The horse didn't exist. Okay, got it? So the question is, does the impression of a horse being there exist?
Yeah.
And he's saying, well, how could you have an impression if there's no horse? How could it create an impression? It's not there. It can't do anything. Okay, that's his argument. Okay. All right. Charmisi Patel. Charmisi Patel means it could never have appeared to you. See, Talangi Nangwa, the appearance of a horse running at you could never have struck your mind because there's no horse. Okay. All right, next paragraph. It's kind of cool. Okay, well, then you have to describe. Yeah, good. Who's talking?
This other guy.
Yes, you put it in italics. Thank you. Well, then you have to describe one. Wang shi la su mo na kepa kitanya ki shir nawa. How a physical form as such appears to a such concept as a basis of the word's essential nature. Yeah, okay. Okay, good. Yeah. 2, how moreover it appears an existing by definition. Good. How it is touched by name and mental. They mean that they should. Good. How it is defined as the basis of what we can touch and hold. Nice. It's all good. Yeah.
Yay.
Good.
And I just threw these guys in for fun. Dave Brubeck, take 5. Okay.
There was something I wanted to say. It's interesting if you know the language, tope taksam.
Oh, I can do that again.
It's interesting if you understand the language, tope taksam, to exist in name only. In the lower schools, it means the thing cannot exist. Okay, if you say the fact that the coffee cup is appearing to be naturally called coffee cup is appearing to you, in these lower schools, they say that's just a figment of your imagination. That's just something made up by your imagination. And then in the highest school, they say, God bless. That's something made up by your imagination. So therefore it's real. See, I mean, and they have a lot of problems with that. They bitterly deny it. Okay. To say that things are a creation of your mind in the lower schools is to say it's not real. You know, you tell your husband, I wasn't criticizing you, that's just something that it's in your head. And then he says, oh, okay. And then if he's Madhyamika, he'll say, well, then it's real. Okay. It's funny, the same language is an anathema to one school and it's a savior to the other school. Okay. All right. All right. Anyway, here we go. Nice homework, Utpala. Let's go here. Okay, we finished that one.
Yeah.
Finished that one. Now that guy said, if you are being misled by an appearance that's coming off of the object, and if that appearance is mistaken, then what's misleading you? It's not even there. It's the same as a fish that flies. You know what I mean? Or around the world or something. It just don't exist. How can it mislead you if it doesn't have any? If it's totally non-existent, how can it mislead you? Okay. If it was never there, how can it take you the wrong way? Okay. And we say, hey, Shepachate, please. Who am I picking on? Oh, you want to try? You want to criticize somebody? It's fun.
Sure.
Okay, come sit next to me. This is Bob Serino, the master of YSI.
Hi, Bob.
Hello.
Let's see. Let's make sure. Where are you? There you go. Okay, he's going to correct you, Utpala. I told him to just criticize every third syllable.
Okay. Shitpa biate ditar.
Not yeah, right?
No, cha.
Ja.
Nice. Good.
Good, Bob. Good, Bob.
Tektules
Not less. La.
Le.
le.
Yeah.
De la gengi wang.
Shen.
Gengi wangi nsen ni gang.
Sanikang.
Seni gang shina. Gan kunshi arampar.
No.
Arompa. Number shepa.
Nampa Shepa.
Nampar shepa la sabun ken.
Sabang
Chen.
Shen. Chen.
Yeah.
Yipa yang dak ma yimpa. Yipa yang dak ma yimpa. Sabun ken yang dak. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed it up. Sabun chen yang dak pa ma yimpa. Kun tok. Oh, I was reading Tengyur there. Sorry. Kuntu tok pas dispe. Namparik bao.
Nice.
Good job.
All right.
Thanks, Bob.
Shepajate. Hey, let me tell you about that. Ditar, here's how it is. Take two. What's take two?
It's the Mahayana Samgraha.
Yeah, Summary of the Great Way, which is a classic mind-only ancient book. Okay.
Nine Master Sangha.
Wala Shengi Wangki Seni. I'll tell you, I don't know about you, but when they say Shengi Wang for Shenwang, I sometimes get confused. I don't recognize it as Shenwang. Okay. What is Shenwang, Venerable Upala?
It is very, generally a changing thing, something under the power of something else.
Mhm.
Good. Meaning all the changing things in the universe, okay? Or all the functioning things in the universe. Shengi Wang, Shenwang. Seni, what's the Seni of Shenwang?
The sign of a changing thing.
or definition. Give me the
Oh, definition. Okay.
Yeah, he says, anybody want to know what's the definition of Shen Wang? Right? The one of the three groups is in the mind only school. What's in that group? Changing things. Okay, they're called Shen Wang, at the mercy of others, because the result is at the mercy of the cause. So it means all cause things. Let's take the group called all cause things. What's the definition of all cause things? Kan kunshiki membership chen. That thing which has a relationship to the kunshi, that it has its seeds in the kunshi. Can we say that?
No, that doesn't make sense. That which has a relationship to kunshi such that it holds the seeds, or
Anything which has a relationship to the refrigerator in your mind.
yeah.
What relationship? Its eggs are laid there. Okay, the seeds for it are laid there. Okay,
Oh, that makes sense.
that's a changing thing. Okay,
Is
so
yupa part of the definition, Geshe-la?
no, it's a comma here. After sub and chen, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
yeah.
Yeah.
it's the consciousness that holds.
No, whole nother thought. Yupa
it-
yapa mayimba.
Geshe-la, can I ask about that one?
Okay,
We were just on. Would
okay.
it be that thing which has, I don't know where, I don't see relationship to
That
where.
Well, law. It's law.
that thing whose seeds are present in the kunchi.
Mm.
The kunshi consciousness?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
that thing whose
The
seed.
foundation consciousness.
Yeah, that thing.
No, we're repeating it. Kunshi means foundation consciousness, and Nampar Shepa means consciousness.
Oh, that's the full name of it.
Oh, that's the full name. Of it.
Yeah, that's
Got it.
Yeah.
full name.
Alaya Vijnana or something.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
Kunchi's full name. Okay, that thing which possesses its own seeds
Has seeds.
laying in the Kunchi
in
consciousness
the kunshi.
is one of how many in the mind only school?
3.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
8. 8. Yeah.
8.
Okay. It has its eggs in the Kunchi. Okay.
God.
And it's a Yapa Yandapa Mayimba Kundu Tope Dupa number Ripo. Yapa, the Kunshi is, can we say? Sabanchan. He wants to read it. The Tengyur, okay? The Tengyur says Kunshi number Shepa, which has Sabans and is Yandak Mayimba. Okay.
Mhm.
The Tengyur, which I favor here, says Kunshi, it lives in the Kunshi, which is itself the place where seeds are stored, and which is Yandapa Mayimba. Yeah, it's not pure. Okay. So it has a relationship to Kunshi. What is Kunshi? It's a consciousness. What can we say about it? It has seeds, it holds seeds, and it is not pure. Okay.
Mhm.
Why is it not pure? It's tope taktam.
It only exists through conception.
Yeah, it's only conceptual. It exists only conceptually.
Mhm.
And in this school, that means it doesn't really exist.
Tope Tok Tom?
Uh-huh.
Where's that?
Yeah. Kundu Tokpe.
In the
Oh.
IE. I don't have this version. Darn it.
I'm proposing reading Kundu Tope as tope taktam. Yeah. It is a state of mind, number rikpa, which is simply tied up with imaginary objects, basically. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Are they implying kuntak?
Yeah, they are. But it means a totally different thing in this school.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now you can think of Seni as basic nature. What's the basic nature of Shenwangs? They have a relationship to the Kunshi. What? Their seeds lie in the Kunshi. They come out of their seeds in the Kunshi. that kunchi is a troublemaker. Okay, yandapa mayimba. Why? In a sense, it exists only by imagination. Okay, the kunchi itself. Okay, in this school, that means it's not real.
What's
Kunchi?
no? Well, yeah, in mind only.
Say again?
Kunchi is mind only. Only.
Mainly, yeah, 99%. Yeah. Let's go on and see if it helps. Okay.
The dupe number riba, is this like mind is collecting those things with an idea?
It is a state of mind which is subsumed by imagination.
Like included within imaginary things.
Yeah, when you have instrumental with dupa, it's like that. Okay, if you took all the imaginary things in the world, it's taken in by them. Okay,
Good usage of subsumed.
When
it's a fake state of mind. Okay, Let's
what
go-
is a fake state of mind?
kunchi.
Oh
But
boy.
we were
so
defining Shenwang.
Kunchi's a kuntak?
That's what it says here.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm more confused than everybody else, but we were defining Shenwang.
Yeah.
And saying a Shenwang is anything that has its cause in the kunji.
Yeah, by the way, if he asks what is the basic nature of Shenwang, okay,
Mhm.
you answer it's a number rikpa, you're already wrong.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it can't mean that. The sentence cannot mean that.
Why
He cannot
is that wrong?
because I'm sorry, Shenwang includes potato chips and
Physical stuff.
But that's only a part
That's
of your
only
mind
mind.
pretending to be potato chips.
Yeah, there's no external object. Come on.
Right, hence the name
It's
mind only.
the refrigerator taking on the shape of potato chips under the influence of the contents of the refrigerator.
Yeah,
So, no, there's no refrigerator because it's a state of mind.
right.
But it seems even more problematic if he's part of how they're defining Shenwang is that it's caused by a kuntak.
Here it's included into all the kuntaks in the universe, something like that.
Kind
The
of
Shenwang
can't
is
be right.
Yeah, the Shenwang is supposed to be different from a kuntak. Well.
Well,
Shenwangs are real and
Shenwangs
are not.
stuff in the world that's changing in the mind only school, right?
Uh-huh.
All the things in the world which perform a function are Shenwangs. Kunchi is part of Shenwangs, but it's not the only. The mind only school still talks about suk. They still have the word suk, right? So there's
But there are no outer objects, and what appears to be outer objects are only the kunchi namparshepa taking on the form of an outer object.
you could say that. Yeah, you
Oh,
could.
maybe
So Shenwang is namparikpa.
I'm trying to come up with a Shenwang which is not number. You could say that. You could say that. I don't think it's the point here, but you could say that.
Right.
Let's go on and see, okay? We could read the context if you want.
Geshe-la, would a Pakshak be a Shenwang that isn't Namparikpa?
Oh boy.
A Pakshak would be a Shenwang that's not Namparikpa.
Oh, that's
God.
Yeah, Ben, because only outer things appear.
So the kunchi doesn't have two parts, the refrigerator and the contents.
It
It
does.
does.
And one of those two parts being the contents are the bakchaks.
No, it's Sabun Chen. It holds the Sabun.
Okay, so the refrigerator holds the sabun, or the refrigerator holds the refrigerator. What's the contents of the refrigerator? That's
Here-
not the part of the kunchi. That's the refrigerator.
Quotation itself says Kunchi Nambashepa possesses the Sabuns.
Right. So the refrigerator part of the kunchi holds the other part of the kunchi, which is what's the other part of the kunchi? That's not the part that holds it.
I don't remember.
More refrigerator.
Couldn't be bakchaks, that's for sure.
Okay. I don't know if you want to read the whole section.
I do. No.
Well, let me go through.
Wait, what?
Let me give you the context of this quotation and maybe it will help. Sheje tseni jita tawa jashina. How shall we see the defining characteristics of sheja, of existing things? Okay. Well, that can be divided into three types. There's shenwangs, there's kuntaks, and there's yongdrups. These three, here Senyi means one of the three characteristics of the mind only. Probably what it meant back here.
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
This means what the question then changes to what is the characteristic of the mind only school called Shenwang? Okay. It doesn't have anything to do with definition. Okay. What is this Senyi just refers to the three characteristics of the mind only school. Can you describe the characteristic of the three characteristics of the mind only school, which is changing things? Can you describe it? Okay. So here he says, everything in the universe, all shejas, can be divided into shenwangs, changing things. Kuntaks, what's that?
Mental constructs.
Yeah, especially false ones. And
All
yongdrup.
false ones.
And yongdrup.
We haven't come up with a good one. We've used established reality. We've used totality. We've used.
Well, let's call it the fact that changing things are actually devoid of what we imagine about them. How's that?
And that's kind of long.
That's nice.
Characteristic number one. Characteristic number three equals, can we say that? Shenwangs minus kuntaks, something like that. Okay. The fact that shenwangs are devoid of kuntaks is yongdrup. Okay.
Yep.
The fact that all changing things are devoid of imaginary self-existent things is emptiness in the mind only school. Okay. Then somebody says, well, what is Shenwang? Okay, I misunderstood the Senyi. He says, can you describe the characteristic called changing things? Kang Kunchi. Oh, by the way, the Tengyur reads it differently, okay?
Right.
And I think it's correct. Kang Kunshi membership is submentioned. And by the way, Tsongkhapa sometimes used alternate translations before the translations were finalized. And he sometimes prefers the alternate to the one that won out. Okay. Kang Kunshi membership is 7 Chen Yanda Mayimba Kunto Beti Ben Nambaripa. So this, what is the characteristic of the three characteristics of the mind only school, which is changing things? Kunto Beti Nambaripa. Here he says it is the state of mind. Is it only the state of mind? Oh, Ben's position, yes.
Yep.
Which is taken in by imagination. It's not, it's somehow false, Yandapa Mayimba, and it possesses sabans, right? It holds the seeds, right? Let's see where he goes from there, okay? And let's see if it helps.
Wait, I didn't hear you include Kunchi there.
Let's just go on, okay?
Yeah, I think he's going to describe why he used that quotation.
This is
Look, Shake Kunchinoche.
This, say again? Oh, yeah.
This quote about
He's
Looks
going to gloss it for you, okay? Kunshi Nam Shela, can you read?
She Kunchi Nam Shesla Ye Pe Bak Chaki Wangki Yil Yang Dakpa Mayimpate Chinchi Loki Nang Tsu Yipe Yang Dakma Yin Kuntoki Nam Rik Pe Dup. Oh, sorry. Shen Wang Gitso Ward Tene te tabui nam riki bie wa ye wa chepana.
Yeah. Now we're getting into this word namrik, okay? And
Okay.
it's extremely difficult. And it's going to play a major role throughout the next few pages, okay? And there's many versions of it. And somehow it indicates a false impression or something like that. Is a false impression mental, or is it what appears to the mind?
Uh-huh.
Let's call it a false impression, okay, for now. Okay. But the mind-only school is sometimes called Namrikpe Dukta.
Mentalists.
Mentalist,
Right.
Vijnanavadins.
By
Yeah,
Chuni Lama in particular.
yeah, and in that case, and by the way, it's used earlier in our text once. All right, he refers to mind only as Namrikpas. So in that case, Namrik means simply the mind. But in this discussion, for the next few pages, it's kind of crossing over between the mind and the false image appearing to the mind.
Mhm.
Okay, and don't forget why we're having this discussion. He says you're supposed to be explaining to us how our physical senses can be fooled, right? And then we say, well, there's something appearing to your physical senses which is not real. And then he says, if it's not real, how can it fake me out? Then why shouldn't it be just a rabbit with two horns? You know, it's the same ontological status. They can't do anything because it doesn't exist. How can it give me a false impression? Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's a great
It's
question.
a great question.
It is a great question. So anyway, Namrik means Namrik here. Namrik is sometimes used as a name for the mind-only school, the mentalist school. But in this conversation here, it doesn't mean that. It kind of means the false impression. Okay, the false impression. And there's like 20 of them. Okay, if you're interested here, there's a list down here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, 8, 9, 10, there's 12 numerics, okay? And they're all false impressions, all right?
It's not just simply cognition.
No, it's not just
No.
cognition. It means a perception in the sense of a false perception. He has a
Okay.
that I don't like him, but it's not correct.
Okay.
He has some kind of perception. So it's an innocent word, perception. But if it's used in a certain context, it means a false perception. He has some idea that I'm trying to hurt him, but I'm not. In that case, idea means a false impression, right? And generally, ideas are good. You can create iPhones. Okay, so anyway, due to the power of the imprints, which are present in the storehouse consciousness, okay? Due to those impressions that are present in storehouse consciousness, yul yanda mayebete, the object takes on a mistaken appearance. Okay, the object takes on a mistaken appearance. It seems to then, it takes on an appearance which is completely mistaken, suggesting to you something mistaken. Okay, and the other guy's objection is still holds, right? If it doesn't exist, how can it? If it doesn't exist, how can it sway my thinking? Okay, Chinji Loki Nansa Yupe Yanda Mayin. Chinji Loki Nansa Yupe Yanda Mayin. Kuntoki Namrik. And here Namrik means a mental impression, which is simply a construct, which is not correct. Okay. An incorrect appearance, all right? which appears.
Mhm. Sorry.
Which appears mistaken? Or, I'm sorry, this is,
Which possesses a misleading appearance. How's that?
okay.
Okay.
So now he's saying that he's kind of implying that there's a correct object out there, and then because of the messed up bakchaks in your mind, what appears to you is a messed up impression.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the other guy's objection.
Wait. I thought we were saying the object itself had the problem.
He didn't say anything about the object out there so far in this sentence.
Okay. The
object
the
is-
perception, the mental perception of the object is influenced by this rotten, stinky kunchi. Is that what we're saying?
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
No,
Okay.
no.
No?
The
Uh,
object is messed up by the rotten, stinky kunchi.
the innocent object, which is just a coffee cup or something. There's a mistaken impression between it and our mind. Some kind of,
Boss,
yeah.
you asked, right, in a mistaken idea, are we talking about mind or are we talking about a conception? But it seems like you need both, right? You need two to tango, right? So,
No,
like,
about a sense perception. There's no idea, there's no thought, there's no.
but if you have a namrik of a kumpartokpa, right? If you have an awareness of an idea, right, which is impure by telling you that things are different than they are, and that's forced upon you by a bakjat, right? Then you have an awareness that's focused on an idea that's wrong due to the arising of a bakjat.
Well, yeah, you could say that, but that's not the main point here. The point is, you're looking at something which is innocent coffee cup. He didn't do anything wrong. And then somehow between your eye and the coffee cup, an interceding impression, namrik, which is mistaken. That impression consists of thinking the coffee cup had to be called a coffee cup. So that false impression has inserted itself between your sense perception and the coffee cup.
Mm-hmm.
And that's lying to you. If the coffee cup is innocent, the coffee cup, he's not, he got his name. He's happy he got his name. He's grateful to have a name. He's not lying about his name. You know, he's just was called coffee cup by somebody. He'll say, oh, I'll take that. But somehow there's a false impression that has inserted itself between your eye and the coffee cup. And that false impression is floating towards your eye and misleading your eye. Okay. And the other guy says, if it's wrong, it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, how can it affect your ideas? How can it lie to you? If it doesn't, then it's the same as rabbit horns. Oh, rabbit horns inserted themselves between me and the coffee cup. They're hurting me. You know, he's like, that's the same thing. They don't exist. How can you say that the rabbit horn got between you and your coffee cup and your eyeball and stuck you in the eye? You know, he's like, it doesn't even exist. How can it do anything? Okay, got it? Then we're going to be discussing namrik, which is that false impression. And here, I just want to say, it's not the same namrik that you see in namrikpa, which means mind only. That means mental list, number rikpe school. This is shaping up. The more I read it, the more you read it, it's shaping up as the false impression. Kuntokin namrik, okay? The imaginary perception, okay, got it? And it's yang dak mayin. There's something wrong with it. It's messed up. Yang dak mayin is messed up. It's imaginary. And it's namrik. It's an impression, mental impression, okay? And it's chinchilo. It triggers a mistaken perception. Okay, I'm sorry, mistaken nangwa, a mistaken appearance. Okay, cool.
You've got this huge note here. Is namrik shenwang a single phrase here?
Well, my note to myself is that the more I read this section, by the way, I'll show you a game you can play with yourself. Look up the word number in this conversation. It will turn yellow.
Mhm.
You see what I mean?
Mhm.
It will turn yellow. And it becomes very important here. And it's not just perception, it's mistaken perception here. Okay.
Mhm.
The school is called perceptualists, perceptioners. The minority school is called Namrikpa, but it don't mean that here. Okay, here it means a mistaken impression. And I made a note to myself because I have a problem here. I mean, Namrik means mind.
Mhm.
Rikpa means mind. Rikpa, Yul, Lo, Shepa, Dunchik from Adam's text.
Yeah.
They're all synonyms for mind. Rikpa means mind, or with no S. Rikpa means mind, okay? When they say that something cannot be mind, you guys now well-trained translators, when I say, for example, mental seeds are not the mind itself, okay? They live in the mind, but they are not made of mind. What do I say next?
Because they don't perceive stuff.
Yeah, they don't see stuff. They're not aware. Are mental seeds physical or mental?
Neither.
Yeah, they're neither. How come they're not physical? Well, you know, there's a billion of them on the tip of a pin. They don't crowd each other out. Okay. Otherwise, your head would explode when you hit 30 or something. Okay. They can't be physical, but neither are they mental. And the reason is they don't perceive things. They don't see blue. They don't see anything. They don't think anything. They are not alive. They are not alive. They are a potential. They are a potential. Okay. But in this conversation, the word namrik is kind of referring to the object and not the state of mind. Okay. And I just made a note to myself because it got more and more confusing when I was trying to think of this mind. Okay.
It seems though, if you say kuntoki namdrik, it's okay. It's just the namdrik that's looking at the kuntok. It's an instance of mind that's looking in this.
Kuntok here is a state of mind.
We're out of time.
Yeah. By the way, Ben, kuntak and kuntok is different. Yeah.
Right, but this is still kuntok. Nampartokpa is still a conception, is still an idea, and if there's a state of mind associated with that idea, then why not the mind that is looking at that idea?
That would be namriki kuntok.
The kuntok's mind, I mean, namriki kuntok, doesn't any existing thing have to have a state of mind that sees it?
Oh, no, it doesn't mean that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because the whole conversation's about looking at coffee cups. Yeah. Yeah. The whole conversation is about the horse, the piece of wood appearing as a horse. Okay. And you see what I mean?
Yeah, but in this case, aren't you looking at the wrong idea, which is causing the coffee cup to appear to you Chinchilok backwards?
No.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. Now that would be namriki kuntok or something like that. And by the way, is kuntok equivalent to kuntak? No, it's not. That spelling is different. And in fact, the tak and kuntak is misspelled throughout all these books.
Right.
It's BTAGS. It's
Not BRTAG.
No,
Oh.
that's a misspelling. And they never got over it. That's the past tense of vikalpa. You see it, kalpalate. It's weird. It's weird that no one caught it. You know, kuntak, BTAGS means you call it imputed by the mind. That's the correct spelling. And they all many scholars got it wrong in the native text. I suggest we start up here next time. Okay, I think we got to start here again.
So we did nothing. Okay.
Oh,
So
we-
what should I do for homework for next
You
time?
get stumped, you're working. Okay.
I'm sorry?
When you get stumped, you're working.
I
Okay.
know.
When you
Well,
think,
I haven't been working. You guys have been
think you
working.
understand everything is when you're in trouble. If you really want to translate something, I'm going to give you something. I would start here, okay, in Asanga, Sheje, okay, here, page 214, last line.
Oh,
Sheje.
we have far different page numbers. Could you show me the context? Could you go up a little bit? Oh, it's Bampo is where it starts.
Mm.
Bumpo Nipa, yeah.
Okay, great.
You won't miss that.
And how far?
Let me see how far to translate from here. Okay, let me think about it. Wow. Down to Kewe number. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Geshe-la.
Okay, don't worry. We'll figure it out.
Cool.
The main thing to remember is that if I'm being fooled by things, that means a false impression is coming from the thing to my eye. And if that false impression is false, it doesn't have any real existence. If it doesn't have any real existence, how can it fool me? Okay, that's all. That's all. Focus on that. Okay. And we're trying to answer the guy. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll do it more next time. How much time we got, Uncle Nick?
Thank you, Geshe-la. Well, it's 1 minute till when my class was supposed to start. So can we just do a 5-minute break?
Yeah, and I can run over on your class. It's okay. By the way, I'd like to announce that we have a musical interlude tonight for the.
Oh,
So if you're
Yay, those are great.
pizza on the final night before our massive 2-day vacation, in which we take a rest and don't do any work.
Except those of us who have to translate.
Yeah. So Hasa's going to play us a song. Okay. See you.
thank you, Geshe-la. Thank you, Paula. Thank you all. That was cool.
That was too much.
Thank you, Mind Only School, maybe.
Thank you, Maria Saga.
Hey, Bob.
You guys awesome. You're my heroes.
See you guys in a few minutes. I'll start my quiz in like 5 minutes, and then if you guys are still doing stuff, then...
Oh, Hasa. Make sure it's 2.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
You're welcome.
Are you leaving?
I'm going over here.
You're welcome to sit on my couch. You're always welcome.
You're muted, Hasso. We hear nothing.
Thank you.
Oh, yay. Yay! What is that song called, Hasso? I've heard it before. I really like it.
It's a very beautiful song. It's called La Rumba de la Lola.
La Rumba de la Lola.
Rumba is like a kind of music style, and La Lola is the name. Like Lola is just like a female name. Yeah, Lola's Rumba. Yeah.
Lola's Rumba.
Thank you.